Poor boy turns Hotel California into a masterpiece. Smiling face Mike. The night was heavy with silence, broken only by the sound of a creaking fan in a small wooden house on the outskirts of a crowded Filipino town. Inside that dimly lit room, a boy sat with an old, cracked guitar resting on his lap. His name was Miguel, a boy of just 15, with eyes that carried the weight of struggles far beyond his age. His family was poor, scraping together enough to survive each day. His father had been a fisherman who lost his boat in a storm, and his mother washed clothes for the neighbors to make ends meet. But Miguel carried a secret weapon, his voice. From the moment he had first hummed a lullaby to his little sister to calm her tears, his family knew there was something different in his tone. His voice wasn't just pleasant. It was raw, soulful, and filled with emotion that seemed to cut through the air like truth itself. But in a world where food was scarce, dreams often felt like luxuries. Miguel never imagined his singing would be anything more than a comfort for his family. Until one day, fate intervened. It started in the marketplace. Miguel often sang quietly to himself while helping his mother sell vegetables. One afternoon, as he softly sang a familiar tune, a stranger stopped in his tracks. This stranger, an older man with silver hair and kind eyes, listened for a moment before approaching. "Boy, where did you learn to sing like that?" he asked. Miguel shrugged shyly, embarrassed. "Nowhere, sir. I just sing." The man smiled. "You have a gift, son. Don't waste it." Those words echoed in Miguel's mind long after the man disappeared into the crowd. That night, he sat with his guitar, strumming chords to one of his favorite songs, a song he had discovered from an old cassette tape given by his late uncle. The tape was scratched, but one track always played clearly, Hotel California. Miguel didn't understand every lyric, but he felt its haunting beauty, its mystery, and its deep soul. He sang it over and over, letting his voice rise and fall with every note, pouring every ounce of his life's struggle into the melody. His little sister clapped, and his mother whispered through tired eyes, "One day, hijo, the world will hear you." Weeks later, a notice spread through town. A popular singing competition was holding auditions in the city. The prize wasn't just money. It was a chance to be seen, to be heard, to step into a world beyond the boundaries of poverty. For Miguel, the idea seemed like a faraway dream. He had no proper clothes, no money for transportation, and no experience performing on a stage. But his mother insisted, "We will find a way. Go and sing, Miguel. Sing for your dreams." The journey to the city wasn't easy. Miguel and his mother borrowed money from a neighbor to pay for the bus ride. When they arrived, Miguel felt like a small fish in an ocean. Children came dressed in glittering clothes. Parents carried folders of backing tracks, and some contestants had coaches guiding them. Miguel wore a faded shirt and carried only his old guitar, strings patched together with whatever he could afford. Some kids laughed, whispering, "Look at him. He won't last a round." Miguel lowered his head, but his mother squeezed his hand. "Remember why you're here. Just sing." When his turn finally came, Miguel stepped onto the stage. The bright lights blinded him for a moment. He could hear the murmurs of the judges, skeptical as they glanced at his worn-out guitar. His heart pounded, hands trembling, but then he closed his eyes and thought of home, of his sister's laughter, of his father's weathered smile, of his mother's calloused hands washing clothes in cold water. And when the music started, he let his soul pour out. The first note of Hotel California escaped his lips, soft and fragile, but then it grew. His voice filled the hall with haunting beauty, every word dripping with emotion. The audience fell silent, as if the air itself had paused to listen. His fingers danced across the guitar strings, not with perfection, but with passion, and every chord resonated with truth. By the time he reached the chorus, people in the crowd were wiping tears from their eyes. Even the judges, who had heard thousands of performances, leaned forward, captivated. Miguel wasn't just singing a song, he was telling his story. The loneliness, the struggles, the dreams that seemed unreachable, everything lived in his voice. And when he sang the final line, the hall erupted with applause. The judges rose to their feet, giving him a standing ovation. One of them, a stern man known for rarely showing emotion, pressed the golden buzzer. Golden confetti rained from above, shimmering in the lights as Miguel stood frozen, tears spilling down his cheeks. His mother cried in the audience, her hands pressed to her face in disbelief. That single performance changed everything. Overnight, Miguel's name spread across social media. Clips of his audition went viral. Headlines read, "Poor boy turns Hotel California into a masterpiece." The world wanted to know who this boy was, the boy with the golden voice who came from nothing yet gave everything in a single song. But success wasn't without challenges. As the competition progressed, Miguel faced pressure like never before. Other contestants mocked him, jealous of the attention he had gained. Some said he didn't belong because he couldn't afford fancy clothes or professional training. There were nights when Miguel wanted to give up, overwhelmed by fear and self-doubt. But every time he thought of quitting, his mother's voice echoed in his heart, "Remember, hijo, your voice is your gift. Don't let anyone take it from you." Round after round, Miguel sang with the same fire. He didn't always hit every technical note, but he connected with people in a way that no training could teach. He sang songs of hope, loss, love, and dreams, and with every performance, he reminded the world that music is not about perfection, it's about soul. On the night of the grand finale, Miguel stood backstage, trembling. The hall was packed, the lights brighter than ever. He held his guitar close, whispering a prayer. When he stepped out, he saw thousands of faces waiting, and for the first time, he didn't feel fear, he felt gratitude. He chose to sing, Hotel California, again, the song that had carried him this far. This time, it wasn't just an audition piece. It was a declaration, a masterpiece, a gift to the world. As he sang, the crowd rose to their feet even before the final note. By the end, the judges were in tears, and the entire hall chanted his name. When the winner was announced, it was no surprise, Miguel. The poor boy from a small fishing town had become a star. But Miguel never forgot where he came from. With his prize money, he helped rebuild his father's fishing boat, paid off his family's debts, and ensured his sister could go to school. He continued to sing, not just on stages, but for the people back home who had believed in him. His story became an inspiration, a reminder that no dream is too far, no obstacle too great, and that sometimes, even a poor boy with a cracked guitar can create a masterpiece. And so, whenever the song, Hotel California, played on radios or televisions, people no longer just heard the classic tune. They remembered the boy who turned it into a story of hope, love, and triumph. Miguel's voice lived on, not just in the music industry, but in the hearts of everyone who had ever dreamed against the odds. The world had called it a masterpiece, but for Miguel, it was simply the song of his life.